What is going on, guys? Today I'm doing a review of the 5 Series TCL 55-inch 4K Roku TV. I'm gonna go over the pros and the cons, and then I'm gonna give you some of my real life experience with this TV. But right before I start into the pros, I wanna let you guys know that I have an Amazon link in the link in the description, so that at any point in the video, if you wanna check this TV out on Amazon, it'll be linked below. So starting right into the pros, the first obvious pro for me is the beautiful, vibrant 4K panel on this TV. Now, I recently did a review on the 4 Series TV. Now this 5 Series has a brighter panel, more vibrant, more beautiful, and it's gotta be one of my favorite panels out there. And in my opinion, a step above the competitors from Samsung. The 5 Series also has the edge-to-edge display, so you don't have those bezels on the side anymore like you did on the 4 Series. You practically have no bezels on the side, which makes it look very futuristic, very modern. Now the next pro, which is a really awesome one, is that it has Roku TV built into it, which basically means that its interface, how you choose channels, how you watch YouTube, how you watch Netflix, how you go to normal DirecTV, it all functions through the Roku system, which is actually a crazy good pro because the Roku system is probably one of the best smart TV systems out there. It's super intuitive. They have a ton of technology that you can implement in this, which I'm going to talk about later in this video as well. You can even set up names for each individual port. So if you have an Xbox plugged in, you can literally label it Xbox. You just click on it every time you want to switch between it. It makes it incredibly easy to switch between. There's none of that changing the channel to find which one. This TV makes it incredibly easy, and Roku is just awesome. And on my last video, people were talking about how you have to pay for this Roku TV. You have a monthly subscription. Not true. When you set this TV up, it is gonna ask for payment information, but that's just if you wanna buy other channels or something like that. You don't have to set the payment information up. I never do when I get this TV because I never want other channels. I have Netflix, I got Hulu, Disney Plus, I got all those. You got YouTube on there, you don't need to pay for anything. So Roku, really awesome. They have it built in this TV. It's super nice to not have any cables need to be plugged in to watch Netflix and YouTube and all your other channels. Now the next pro, this is a little small one, but it's really cool that it has it. This is compatible with VESA mounts, so you can get a VESA mount and put this on your wall or really wherever you want to put it. Little small pro, but obviously I had to mention it. Now the next thing that's really cool is it's compatible with Alexa and the Google Dot, so that you can connect those and tell them to turn off your TV, and she can help you search for movies and apps and whatever you need. Now the next thing is the fantastic Roku Remote and a little bit of other technology that you can use with Roku. Now first, obviously, this is the remote that comes with the TV. On the top, you have your power button, you have your back button, you have your home button, and then you have the left, right, up, and down, and then OK buttons for basically selecting anything you want on the TV. You then have your voice command buttons, your return button, then you have your fast forward and reverse and your pause and play, and then you have 4 buttons at the bottom, which are really cool. You have Netflix, Hulu, Roku, and Disney Plus. So at any point you can click those no matter where you're on the TV, and it will take you straight to Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever. Then moving to the side, you have your volume up, volume down, and then your mute button, which is really nice because when you're actually holding this, it's just a thumb away. You just click it with your thumb, sound goes up, down, or mute, and it's really fast, it's really intuitive. There's not a ton of those tiny little crazy buttons on those huge remotes, just one remote for your entire TV. Now, continuing on with the remote, there's this one really cool feature. Now, when this TV's on, if you download the Roku app, you can actually use your phone as the remote. And a lot of times you might think, hey, that's gonna be kind of quirky, kind of cool. However, it's probably not gonna work very well. You should just stop right there because this thing is way better than any type of integration that I've experienced before. Now through the Roku app, you can actually open it up and you use the remote. It's not actually coming out of the transmitter through your phone, it's actually going through a Wi-Fi signal. Now you connect your phone to the same Wi-Fi signal that you connected your TV to. From there, you can use the remote through Wi-Fi. And the reason that's really good is because when you have the remote, and this little shiny part up here, it's obviously aiming at it. So most TVs, you have to aim it at it. However, when you use your phone, you can be behind something, you can turn down the volume, you can do anything you want. You have the same movement buttons, you have the same volume up, volume down, except one really cool feature of the many inside of the app is that for typing, a lot of times you have to click over and have to manually move to type in something on YouTube or Netflix, to type in something. All you have to do is tap the little keyboard button and you can actually type out whatever you want to search on your phone. Now this makes it incredibly easy. One, because you're never gonna have to have the remote with you. You can just keep your phone with you. You can turn on and off the TV just from your phone, adjust sound. You can even talk into it and tell it to open up Netflix or YouTube or search something in YouTube through the microphone in your phone. Shut down. But the huge thing is searching things through your phone on the TV make it so easy. And as well, watching YouTube videos, you can obviously mirror your device to your TV, and that's not even in the Roku app. You just have to have your TV. It's just whenever your TV is on, you can just click the button in YouTube and multiple other apps, and it will automatically just stream it to your TV. It's really cool. Now, the next pro leads me to the ports. It has a ton of them for basically anything that you need. It has a whopping 4 HDMI ports, 1 USB port, an RF composite, a headphone jack, an optical audio out, and an Ethernet, which is really important if you go to school, because in a lot of colleges and schools in the United States, you actually have to have an Ethernet port to access the internet through a TV or a console. So that is obviously really, really good if you're a college student. Now, the next pro is it has HDR, which is really cool. So if you have HDR enabled content, which has HDR, this TV is gonna look really good with that, as well as the already amazing 4K display. The next thing is a automatic gaming mode. So if you are playing some Xbox games, you're playing, maybe some Red Dead Redemption 2, what the gaming mode is gonna do is it's gonna optimize the TV so it has a lower latency and a few other things to stop screen tearing. But basically, you don't need to do anything and it's just there. And it's really cool that TCL just adds that. Now, the next one is speakers. So these speakers are actually really good for just TV speakers. Most of you guys are probably gonna hook it up to a speaker system or a sound bar or something like that. However, the speakers on their own are really good for the price point and they get extremely loud. I brought it up to the 75 out of 100 sound level, and I didn't want to make it any higher because it was so loud.
100 is never what I would ever put this at. This is absolutely way too loud.
Now, another pro, and this is actually from comments on my last video that people were asking about, is the angles of the TV. Does it look bad from other angles? So some people were asking if the viewing angles were bad, and I have to tell you, the difference that I see is almost nothing when I move from side to side. Now, if you're very close to the edge, I'm talking where it's almost just a flat screen, the vibrance seems a little bit heightened, so it's a little bit more saturated, but nobody's gonna be watching TV from that angle, and it's not even really that big of a difference when you are at that crazy angle that no one would ever watch TV at. So if you're worried about angles, that would not be a worry for me. Now, those are all the pros, and do remember that if you guys do wanna go check it out and look at the specifications for yourself, there's an Amazon link below. But right now I'm gonna list the cons, and there's a few of them. However, I had to mention these cons. Now, the first one's just a little bit nitpicky. The power cable is just not very long. It's probably only 5 feet, maybe 6 feet. That's just a little nitpicky thing. If I had a TV company I was making it, I'd probably make the cord like 15 feet, but that's just me. I like long cords. I like moving things around in rooms. And it's not that big of a deal because God invented extension cords. However, that is a little pro that I had to mention. Now, the next con is something that is kind of hard to find on this TV, which is actually the refresh rate of it, which means how many times per second this TV refreshes its image. Now, most panels are about 60 hertz, and TCL has a really funny marketing jargon, which basically on some of them, they call it 120 hertz CMI. 120 hertz CMI, which is essentially a native frame rate of 60 hertz. However, they used a bunch of advanced signal processing and backlight scanning to make it seem like it is 120 hertz. Basically, what your eye sees is 120 hertz. That's what this TV is doing. It's a really cool way to give you a really good screen and a really good looking panel for not as much money as you would be paying for $2,000–$3,000 TVs. This one is super cheap. Look in the Amazon link below. This TV is gonna be great for sports and movies or games or whatever you want, but I had to list it as a con because sometimes they call it 120 hertz CMI or 240 natural motion or something like that, when the actual active hertz is not 240 and not 120, it's 60. However, with all of their advanced processing, they make it look like 120 hertz. So it's a pro and a con in kind of both, but it had to be mentioned. But overall, this is by far my favorite TV that I've ever used. Weighing all of the pros with all of the cons, and then the cost of this TV, this is the best TV I have ever used, and I highly recommend it to anyone that is trying to get a TV in this price point. Guys, again, if you do want to go check it out, there's an Amazon link below. If you guys like this review and I helped you out, help me out and throw a like below. But I'll see you guys later. Loss out.